Hey, everybody, welcome back to the ChatGTM podcast, season 2 episode. I don't know because we don't keep track until actually after we post these things because we have so many people come on and off, but I digress. I am your irascible host, Mr. Michael Beck, and I'm here joined as almost always my partner in crime, the guy who has the best artwork behind him because it came from his family and kids, Mr. Chad Horn. How you doing, Chad?
Great. I'm excited for this one. Beck, I get to talk to your brother or cousin or something today, and we get to talk about catering, which is
I
a
don't,
fun topic.
you know what? It'd be funny if we turned over a rock and I'm actually related to Allen in some way, shape, or form, right? And here's an embarrassing truth: when I was excited to tell Chad that Allen was going to be on the show, and I go, Glenn Beck's going to be on the show. He's like, Glenn Beck. I just totally messed up the first name, and I realized who I said. But so a little quick read in, because if you guys don't know who this gentleman is, he's an industry maven. You see him all over the place. Every time I go to a trade show, I see him there, and he's always got a big smile on his face. And so today we're joined by Mr. Allen Beck, a proven operator and growth leader in the restaurant and hospitality space. This guy is a catering gangster. Allen has spent his career turning off-premise catering and technology into real revenue engines, blending frontline execution with systems that actually scale, right? And this is a conversation about growth that works in the real world. And Allen is with a company now called Nibble One, and we're really excited to understand the transition he's made from his previous company to where he is now, the things he's bringing to the world. He's got a road show he's putting on. Let's just welcome to the show, Allen. I know you're there. You can't pretend you're not here.
Right?
Good morning,
Hey,
good afternoon.
good morning on my end, almost afternoon for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. Super excited to be here with you guys. Hot take right off the bat. I've been trying to get on this podcast for like a year. So
Really?
I'm super excited to be here. So
Get in line.
Yeah. What the heck? Wow. That the line is out the door right now. Dude, yeah, a little nepotistic fact though. We're Becks, right? And so Allen Beck, Michael Beck, no relation. Is your tribe from Germany?
no, my tribe is from like I got an English, Scottish background.
Okay. Okay. Well, actually, it's interesting. I did a 23andMe not too long ago, and a lot of that is over in England as well. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
there
funny.
you go.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So, and where are you at? Where are you in Utah?
Yeah, just south of Salt Lake City, here in Utah, about 1.5 miles away from Zach Oates. We live pretty close to each other.
Shout out Zach. What's up, man? If you're watching.
If anybody deserves to be an anchor point, a reference point of where I am, it's Zach Oates.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Zach Oates. And maybe Brock out there in Utah as well, over at Savvy, our other friends there. And I'm going to pounce in on your background real quick because I am very curious anytime I see something there. And I love the fact that you show a little bit of your family and life there. But what's with the snow globes? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, those are all the snow globes. So every time I go somewhere new, like for me, I grab a snow globe from there. So what's really cool is right up here on this side. I was just down in South America with Delivered. So I think this one is the Panama City one, and then this one is the Bogota or Bucaramanga, Colombia one. So every time like when the family goes, we do like a magnet or like a stuffed animal or something. But when I go somewhere new, I like to remember like this is where I've been. This is where the companies that I work for or these cool experiences, and each one of them kind of have a story. Like when I look at the one from Puerto Vallarta, that was a trip that I did with Costa Vida and the memorable experiences that we had there. And so it kind of helps me know, hey, this is the cool places I've been, but then also remember the memories from those places that I've been as well.
You know that, Chad, that sounds like a Beckism. I mean, literally the room behind me is a similar thing. So all my tchotchkes are based on sales. Every time I got a sale, I bought one of these doodads here to memorialize that, because somebody said once that you're never going to get a trophy from being away from your family. So I was like, well, every time I got the deal, I get one of these things. I just got too effective, and now I'm not allowed to get any more. But we won't talk about that right now. And also, since you mentioned Costa Vida, let's say hi to Wade Allen out there. That's another friend of ours. We love seeing in the industry as well, right? That's another great anchor point back to Utah. And I think this is a great stepping off place too. So Costa Vida, you were there for a while, right?
Yeah, 9 years.
Wow. Okay. And so now you are at Nibble One. Tell us a little bit about that journey. Like clearly, we all evolve and grow, and business is business, and we move into different places that benefit where we're going in our career arc. But what took you from Costa Vida to Nibble?
So great question. So first, it wasn't anything with like, oh man, I'm upset, I'm mad, like Wade made me mad or anything like that. No. So want to kill any rumor or anything like that. That's not the case, right? Rumor dispelled. Check and check.
Like, I
No,
need a
what
voice for that.
Rumor dispelled.
there we go. I love it. No, what it boiled down to is in my journey with Costa Vida, and while I was there, we really grew the business, the off-premise business, with our app and web and our third party and drive-through and catering. And one thing that the leadership team over there charged me with is like, we need like a real catering solution. And so I'm like, perfect. I'll go out there. I thought it would be an easy solution. I'm going to put my RFP out there. I'm going to have a couple different vendors reach out. I'll do a couple demos. We'll make a selection from there, and it'll be easy. And that wasn't the case. I spent 2 years looking at different catering solutions, and all of them, like everyone I talked to, they all did some really cool things, but none of them that I talked to, in my opinion, were like the one all-encompassing solution. Some of them were really good at filling the funnel with marketing solutions, and some of them were really good with like getting the communication and the order down to the restaurant, and some of them were really good at combating the third-party fees and maximizing profits, but not. There wasn't, like, in my mind, as I looked, there wasn't one solution that could encompass kind of all of that. And so I'm like, man, I wonder, it would be really cool to go and build this with somebody. And then, I saw Hef posted on, Chris Heffernan, my CEO and founder, Delivered, posted on LinkedIn, like, hey, we're looking for this really ambiguous position to come in here and lead our catering solution that's basically like the founder and like just owning it. And I'm like, I'm interested. Let's talk. And then as I went through like the whole, like, if you want to call it the interview process or whatever that process is, as we were talking, it really started to kind of like blossom in like, oh no, like they're going to like give me the keys to the kingdom to go and build essentially what I find is a big gap in our industry. And then the offer came through, benefits out, all that made total sense. And as I talked with leadership at Costa, they're like, you'd be kind of dumb not to take this opportunity. And so I made the jump. And I couldn't be more grateful for, Wade and others over at Costa, Dave and Sean, and their complete understanding of what I wanted to build, and it wouldn't have been there, and what I really wanted to accomplish. And then really grateful for Ashley Campos and Chris Heffernan in believing in me and the whole Delivered leadership team, really, and allowing me to come over and really start to build out what Nibble One is and is going to be. And we're super excited for it.
Awesome. Allen, I mean, sounds like, based on what you just shared, that you didn't have the perfect solution at Costa Vida. So during your time there, what are you most proud of having figured out, built, etc.?
Yeah. My time there was, I would hang my hat on the entire off-premise tech stack. Like, that was awesome to be able to build. When I took over the department in 2019, we made a strategic move. We signed with Olo December of 2019. 3 months later, the global pandemic happens, and I look like a total genius. Just luck, really. And then we really built out the tech stack. So when I took over in 2019, off-premise sells, which we defined at Costa Vida as our app and web, all of our third-party delivery service providers, DoorDash, Uber, etc., catering, and drive-through, made up a total of about 9% of total sales. And then my last day at Costa was on January 2nd of this year. And so I was able to see the numbers that we closed out the year. And we closed out at 51% of total revenue for the company.
Wow.
And so that's what I really like. We during that time we made some serious tech decisions in building out that MarTech stack so that we could accomplish that. And then, we stole Wade from Brinker, and he came in and made a big impact. And so just that whole growth and everything that we accomplished there, just like super exciting to see the success that it caused and the impact it's had, not only on the brand, but then the industry as Wade and myself and others have been able to get up on stage and talk about what we've built. Like that's really where I would hang my hat, Chad, to answer that question.
Awesome. The numbers speak.
Yeah.
So, well, that kind of blows my mind. If more than 50% plus is catering.
Yeah. No, well, all of it. Sorry.
Right.
51% was app and web, catering, third party, and drive-through.
Off-prem. Right. It was just, yeah.
Off-prem. 51% total off-prem was.
What was do you know the shift that was pre-COVID? I mean, curious, was it 30% prior? I mean, imagine
No,
that was
9%.
9. I sound like the principal in Ferris Bueller's percent.
9%. Bueller.
Wow. Wow. Now I need some warm gummy bears. So let's deep cuts. So let's shift gears a little bit. So you're now at Nibble, right? For the unindoctrinated, what does Nibble do? What is it do you guys bring? And actually, what was the thing that really I would imagine, knowing you and knowing our industry, you probably had your choice of what your next stop would have been, or at least a nice, rich assortment of opportunities. What made you land there? What said, you know what, that's the one for me?
Yeah, so kind of touched on it a little bit already, but like just the trust and belief that Hef and the entire Delivered leadership team showed me throughout the whole process.
Yeah. Was there a technical component to it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely met with, so I met with Hef, I met with Ashley, and then I met with Chris Barnes, who runs the Expedite team, and Devin Barkley, who's the tech guy. You know, all things tech here at Delivered. And and we chatted through it, and I, you know, like, to be honest, like, it didn't feel like, and that's why I say, I don't know if you want to call it an interview process. It felt more like a consultation and like a conversation. Like, hey, this is where my expertise is at. This is what I think I can bring to the table. You guys have a product that's there, and I think I can come in and I can make a real positive impact both on Delivered and the industry. And the trust and belief that they showed in me through that process, and since I've been here just over a month, like, they really are treating me not only as like a member of the leadership team, but then also as like a founder. Like, here's the reins, take them. That's yours. You drive this beast however you want and where you want it to go. And yeah, there's some checks and balances, but really, like, if I'm like, hey, I think this is our ICP, or I think this is that, they're like, perfect, sounds great, let's go. Right. So
that's fantastic, especially being handed the reins, right, as opposed to somebody telling you every inch of your job, which is,
yeah,
it's a slow, painful death, right? Like,
for
you
sure.
want to be given the reins so you can run with it, and they hired you to be smart and do what you do best.
Exactly. And so it's been unbelievable. And then to answer the second part of that question, like, what is Nibble One? There's the typical marketing. I can't go on this podcast and not have our marketing tagline.
No, you need a shameless plug, and you're part of the Delivered family, right? Is that the right assertion there?
Yeah. So we're all part. We're under Delivered. Super happy with it. There's 13 different brands under the Delivered umbrella. Half is just building this juggernaut. Unbelievable what he's building. But yeah, we're Nibble One. Like, the marketing tagline is, we are your one solution for all things catering and off-prem. And so, you know, the biggest thing that we want to talk about at Nibble One is catering is often treated kind of as more of a side hustle by most restaurant tech. There's large brands out there that made their money and made their impact in one area, and then they're like, well, yeah, catering's kind of a big deal. We'll build something there. And it was kind of like an afterthought. That's not what we've done. Catering and off-prem is the central focus of everything we're building here at Nibble One. It is an operator-focused technology that we are helping operators execute and dominate their off-prem and catering business. That it's not an afterthought anymore, that it's a true focus of how we're building the technology.
So, Allen, I would say, and you probably agree, catering is trending. I see it. It's a bigger topic of conversation at events. Brands are talking about it more. They're investing in it more. Tech companies, to your point, are, I'm going to side hustle this and like add that to the larger platform. This seems, based on everything I've heard, this is not mostly a tech problem from a standpoint of where do you start. It's a strategy problem, right? You know, I've heard people complain, well, yeah, but this needs to first be recognized as its own P&L because it's such a different business operation, and you need to think about holistically how the brand pulls this off operationally, and the experience with the drivers and that touch point with the guests, super important. So let's rewind, and before we get to the tech side, talk about how you find brands these days in your role, and where are they from a strategy perspective, and what are the needs there before they can really be successful with any technology?
Well, what's really, like, the best way I can answer that question is, like, all begins and ends with operations. Like it all begins there, right? There's marketing is an important role of filling the funnel and getting people in the door. But if you get people in the door and your operations team is unable to execute and make sure that experience is a solid experience and people aren't having issues, their food's accurate, their food's warm, it's on time, all that kind of, all those variable metrics that many brands are looking at right now, it all begins and ends with operations. And so when you walk into a store, right, any brand, and everything's functioning, like, oh, cool, like they're just on top of it. What I found is like where the breakdown begins to happen is when there's the moment that the big orders or those big orders come in, because you can watch a well-oiled machine quickly fall off the tracks if they don't have the tools and the technology necessary to execute that, right? And that begins all the way back again with operations. Like if you have a tool, your back of house tool isn't helping you forecast your labor correct, so you know how many people you're going to need on this day, that's where things can fall off the rails very quickly. We've all been to, like, all three of us know, like, if there's 5 cars in that drive-through, they're slow, I'm not going there. I only have 15, 20 minutes to get to my kid's game or my next appointment or whatever it may be. And you see 5 cars in a very specific brand's drive-through, you're not going to go there because you know you're going to be in that drive-through for 30 minutes. On the other hand, you can drive by the very next brand and you can see 20 cars in the drive-through, but you know that they operate efficiently and effectively. And even though they have 4 times as many cars in their drive-through, you're going to be in that drive-through significantly less time. And so it's really when those big, complex, high-stakes orders begin to hit the restaurant is where things begin to break down. And you can see it very quickly, whether you're in the drive-through, in line, whatever it may be, you can definitely see it.
I'm still fixating on the jump from 9% to 51 or 50%. No, I mean it's just staggering, right? And thinking about that, I know the market dictates some of this, but so did your team and your ability to deliver to deliver. Funny enough, but if a restaurant wants to double catering revenue, right? What has to change first? Is it people, process, or technology, and why?
Yes,
all of it.
So if you think about a catering order, catering is where restaurants can win and lose trust with your clients or your customers, however you want to, your guests, whatever term you want to use there. Because you're not just serving one person. Like if Chad comes into my restaurant and I'm a jerk or I gyp Chad, he's one person that's had a bad experience. Okay. Now, he might tell, on average, 8 to 10 people about his negative experience. Okay, that's 8 to 10 people. However, on a catering order, let's just take it on the small side. Let's say it's only a 20 person, okay?
Yeah.
It's only a 20 person catering and you completely screw up that order. Okay, let's just say the same ratio. Those 20 people tell 8 to 10 people. Now we've scaled it, we've multiplied it.
Right.
Now, rather than 8 to 10 people hearing about it, we're talking over 100 people have now heard negatively about that circumstance or that situation or their experience with that brand. Catering is where restaurants can win and lose trust in it. So if you have a high value, high visibility catering, it's unforgiving. You have to execute at 100%. So when we say that, Michael, that's where I say yes to all, because you need a technology that can help. One, did the order come into the restaurant? Did the technology send it to the restaurant so you can execute it?
Right.
Are your people trained well enough that they can actually execute the catering? Are you arriving on time and being able to have the packaging and the presentation and everything that's going to blow people's socks off on the catering so that they want to order from you again? Did you make that office manager now become the office hero because they ordered from you? That's what we're talking about. So that's why I say yes to all. It's not like, well, if you have the best technology out there, you're going to blow up catering. No, because you can have the best technology, but if your people are dumb and they can't execute the catering, it doesn't matter. If your food's not good, if you show up to a catering and your hot food's cold and your cold food's hot, that's a bad experience. So it's like it's equipment, it's people, it's technology, it's all the above.
Yeah, if your people are just dropping it off and walking away without setting things up and being a little bit more catering to the moment, right? They probably is going to give a lesser experience, and plus you're removed from the restaurant, so you don't have the benefit of the vibe in the place and all that stuff that's happening. So you're really packaging up part of your culture as you bring it over there too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And it's not just so many brands out there thinking like, oh, it's just an extension of my dine-in menu. If that's your thought process, you got a steep learning curve ahead of you. Like it's not. Like if you're delivering fries in paper bags to a catering, we all know what's going to happen by the time it gets there. They're going to be soggy, and it's not going to be a great presentation of your restaurant and your food.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that the packaging's the correct way. You want to make sure that it's got your logo on it, so people don't go, "This is from such and such competitor," and you're like, "No, it's not. It's from me." Right? So you want to make sure that it's all done the right way.
Right. And catering isn't always, or correct me if I'm wrong, because a lot of this is teaching us the stuff that we think we know, but validating it. So catering can be directly from that restaurant to a boardroom, a business place, a family, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be through a third party as well. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what about the control of quality as it goes out there? That feels like that's something that you really want to hold on to. Like you mentioned with the fries.
You're soft them to me today. I appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is where like having a partner like Delivered and using our Expedite platform, not all restaurants can deliver every catering that they ever get. Okay, but you don't want to turn business away. And so by partnering with like Expedite, we're a third party delivery.
Is that what?
Yeah, like that's your last mile delivery service provider for catering. What's great about Expedite is there's a few things that we do. Like when we onboard you onto Expedite, we want all of your training materials that you're willing to give us to execute the catering so that we can give it to our drivers. So that when our drivers come and pick up the catering order to execute for ABC brand, whatever it is, that we're representing your brand the way that you would represent it. And so we want to make sure like we come in with the hot bags and the right coolers and whatnot so that we can keep your cold food cold, your hot food hot, right? When we get to the location, we're not just going to drop it off and say, all right, pharmaceutical rep or office manager or church group, figure it out how this brand would set up this catering. No, they're going to unpackage it, take lids off, set it up exactly how you would as if you were self-delivering it. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go one extra mile. We're going to take a picture of it and then send it back to the restaurant to show them, look, we fulfilled on the promise that we told you we would fulfill on. And here you go. And so that's what's the biggest difference is sometimes you send it out with, a large order fulfillment of a different third party, and they'll take it from point A to point B. You don't know if they're going to be dressed appropriately. You don't know if they're going to have a dog in their back seat. You don't know if that's their kid or whatever like that.
Right.
For Delivered and Expedite, we're going to give you full transparency. We're going to tell you the moment that your order is accepted by a driver. Then we're going to give you all of the driver's information. Your driver's going to show up. His name is Michael Beck. He's going to be driving such and such vehicle. His license plate is this. He is en route to your restaurant. He's arriving at your restaurant.
Is there kind of an Uber driver telemetry thing, like it's down the corner, it's round in the bend, that kind of thing?
Yeah, all of that. He's leaving your restaurant. He's arriving on site. He's leaving the site. Here's the picture. There's full transparency from the time that we accept the order to the time that we complete the order. And that's why it's so cool with like Nibble One and Expedite. That's why we're giving this full solution is if you want to self-fulfill an order, absolutely. Inside the Nibble One platform, you can select, we are going to self-fulfill this order. One of my drivers is going to do it. Oh crap, we have 4 orders for the exact same time. I can only do 3 of them. I need to dispatch out this other one. All right, in the Nibble platform, let's just go and we're going to use Expedite and then we're going to provide all of the information inside the platform. You don't have to log into the Expedite side. You don't have to log into EasyKit, whatever it may be. It's all housed inside the Nibble One platform, which is why it's the one solution for catering and off-prem.
And I imagine it's running metrics on who's doing your delivery for you, or like if you're looking at this as at the restaurant level of who, what third parties they worked with, what revenue went through what, and how that all flowed as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a full platform. The algorithm is built in that if you like a driver and the driver likes you and everything, that's a good copacetic relationship.
Ooh,
we're gonna match that driver to more of your orders.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
Alan, when you were talking about the numbers before, 20 people that had a negative experience would tell 8 to 10 and how they're crippled, you reminded me of a recent conversation I had with a catering leader at a brand. And she was talking about the inverse of that, which is you nail it on operations. You provide a great catering experience. And you say, oh, yeah, so it's the opposite of that. People will tell friends. She said, you have to make sure, and I'm curious for more examples from you on this. I'll give you one she gave. You have to make sure that that positive experience translates into the full realization of what you should earn with those guests in the future. And she gave the example of sometimes brands will go and do a great catering order. People love the food and they go, what did I just eat? I don't even know what restaurant served me. And she said, you got to have that custom branded packaging so people see, yeah, now I know where to go and tell friends. And so I'm curious all your thoughts on that, but other examples of you get it right. How do you make sure that you're not restricting the growth you now deserve from that?
It's all the little, yeah, yes to all of that as well. Like if you can go out and your brand can afford custom packaging, embossing your logo on it, absolutely go and do that. But it's not necessary. Not every brand out there can afford to go out and get their custom packaging, but you can do certain things that don't cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving your catering menu with your logo on it, right? Leaving that at the beginning or at the end of where the catering's at. Little table tent cards with the logo, your business card, anything like that you can get your logo in front of people, leave it. Another one that I love that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg is at the very end of the catering line or bar or whatever it is. I saw brands that would go and get little mints with their logos on them. Okay, great, awesome. You just had this awesome food. You don't want to have food breath in your next conference or in your next meeting or whatever. Grab a couple mints. Oh, that's cool. That's got the Savory Mobetta's logo on it. It's got, R&R. It's got Costa Vida. It's got whoever on it, right? That's cool. It's the little things. Obviously, having the custom packaging and all of that's fantastic. A tablecloth with your name of the brand on it, great. But sometimes that's not feasible for like these, 5, 10, 2 location type brands. So you don't have to go crazy. Leave a catering menu. Leave multiple catering menus. Leave mints. Leave your business card. Any of those little things that you can get that. Any exposure is better than no exposure. And so, yeah, going big is fantastic, but even the little things make all the difference.
Question, because my brain's going a couple of different directions here as always. On third party, or sorry, off-prem, not third party, off-prem. What's your view on robotics and these little cars that are driving around town that are delivering food? Is that something that you guys are looking at as far as that's going to knit to what you guys are doing, or what's your view on those solutions? Period.
Yeah, I think they are interesting. I'm not going to say I'm for or against. I'm pretty neutral on it. I think the concept.
The vote is out right now.
Yeah, the vote is out there right now. I think the concept of it is super cool. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, if I was a college kid and I could order from whatever brand and this cool little robot rolls down the sidewalk and delivers my food, that's super cool, right? That's awesome. It's like the question that I always ask, and what's really interesting is you're not seeing this in the suburbs for the most part. You're seeing them in the urban cities, right? And so, like, I'm going to use an example that I saw last year at NRA. I watched a homeless man throw one of those Lime scooters into the river in Chicago, right? So what's stopping people from tipping over the robots? What's stopping people from kicking them? What's stopping people from stealing them, right? Like, so that's the part of the solution that I still have questions about.
Yeah.
I think the thought process, like in where I live, I'd love to see it here in this more rural, more like suburb type area, because I think it could be beneficial there. I also understand like there's probably some logistical restrictions there. Like I get that, right? So for me, like the jury's still out on it. I still would like to see how they're overcoming those questions. Like those Lime scooters are awesome. I took one to the show last year, and then the next night I saw a homeless guy throwing, or I don't think you can say homeless anymore, right? I think it's the unhomed to be the politically correct answer. Throwing one of them into the river. And I'm like, it made me think about that. Like, okay, I just came from the show and seeing these robots. I'm like,
I think they're considerably heavier, but yeah, I
you know what I mean?
I could
or
see
even
that,
tipping it over, kicking it, or like I was, not every sidewalk in all of these urban cities is perfectly groomed, right?
Yeah.
So like, are they able to overcome the tree root that's broken up the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Like those are all the questions I still have on them.
Allen, what are one or two brands in our industry that impress the heck out of you with their catering operation? And why?
Shameless plug for Costa Vida.
Other than
say the first one that came to mind when you said that was Amanda and Viva Chicken.
Really?
I really like what they're doing. They've really, I mean, I think they're back-to-back years of top 20 catering brands to watch from fast casual. So that's one that really interests me, and just kind of like watching her across nationwide. And then I think another one, and it's a Mexican concept, but she was a competitor when I was at Costa. But I really like what Sabrina Jenkins is doing over at Moe's, and kind of watching how she's building that out. She made the jump from PDQ over to Moe's, and I was very impressed with what she was doing over there. And I would try to steal some of her playbook for Costa quite a bit, because the way that they're marketing and getting their food out there was super interesting to me. And I liked the bright colors and the flyers and the LinkedIn messaging and the social media messaging. So it was really cool there. Those are
imitation's the sincerest form of flattery.
Exactly.
That's right. So you mentioned Crumbs and Kelly Grogan recently. What's the relationship there? How do you guys work with them?
Yeah, love Kelly. I've known Kelly for, I don't know, going on 5 years now. Just meeting her at trade shows and hanging out with her and whatnot, learning from her. We're putting on that catering roadshow together with Kelly, because what we're finding on our end, like we've talked a lot about where Delivered and Nibble One and others, Expedite, where we find holes in the industry and how we can help resolve those issues for you. But really, what I love about what Kelly's doing over at Crumbs is that she's like a fractional chief catering officer or chief marketing officer for catering.
There's that fractional word again.
There it is. It is so cool to see what she's doing and helping brands, because great. Like the Costa Vitas of the world, the Viva Chickens, the Moe's, the Four Rivers, Bobby over at Four Rivers, they are kicking butt and taking names, right? But what about the mom and pop shop that maybe only has 8 or 9 locations that they've never got into catering? They don't know what they don't know. And so it's great to be able to say, like, hey, at Expedite and Nibble, we're going to help you get all of that information in. And then let us introduce you to Kelly so she can help you understand how to grow and scale and build your catering from like the marketing side and from, the execution side and all of that. Like we'll provide the technology and the last mile service, and then let Kelly really help you. And that's really where we've partnered with Kelly and in working together. Like, hey, you're doing this, we're not even thinking about it, so let's partner together. You do this, we'll do that, and then watch what we can build together.
So of all the things you're doing, I mean, now that you're in the tech side and not the brand, what do you enjoy the most about that transition? Like that, kind of gets you up every day.
What I enjoy most about it is I truly want to help brands build catering and off-premise. And that was a passion that I had prior to making the jump from the operator side to the vendor side. I would get on calls and talk to several brands out there and helping them build out like what that looks like, whether it's tech stack, execution, operations, whatever, right? What really gets me up in the morning is knowing that I'm building something that's going to have a lasting impact on someone's brand, that's going to help them have a positive impact on their community. Like that's where I would leave it at.
Well, I want to make sure we land the plane, and we did start a little bit late, but I imagine you're a busy exec and we should get you on to other things too. But I have a thing I like to do at the end, some rapid fire questions I put together for us to go through. These are fun and quick, and so it shouldn't be too deep a dive, but I definitely want to get your input on these. So you ready? And feel free to say pass if it just doesn't.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. What's the first sign a catering program's about to outgrow the restaurant supporting it?
Late to caterings, execution.
Got it. One metric every restaurant thinks matters, but actually doesn't.
Your clicks, like the pay-per clicks, your marketing.
Vanity. Yeah. God. All right. Best tech upgrade restaurants buy and the one they regret 6 months later.
Loyalty.
Ooh, that's the best one they buy, or the one they regret.
Like it's loyalty is so that man. It can make or break. You could change your loyalty platform, go to a new platform, and it could blow your sales up, or it can really blow your sales down.
But what's one do you think they'd regret later if they bought it? Just like it flashed in the pan, it was that bright shiny button or the object. You don't have to say names.
No, I think of, I would just say legacy. Like if they're not forward thinking, if they're not using, AI in their platform to help you to find lookalike campaigns and get more people into the platform and stuff like that. If it's more legacy and they're not doing anything on the back end, it's not necessarily the customer facing technology. It's more of the back end. Like if they're not allowing or they're not building for the future, then that should be a red flag for you. Like my loyalty company hasn't brought out any new feature set or technology set in 18 months, that should be a concern for you.
Okay. What's the most common off-premise mistake that looks smart in a boardroom, but fails in a restaurant? What looks good, but it fails in execution?
Offering your entire menu.
Ooh.
Off-premise. I would encourage all brands out there, if you want to offer food off-premise, order it, get it delivered, and let it sit for 15 minutes and then eat it and see if it's still a good experience for you. Like, one of those that I look at often is when brands offer nachos and off-premise. I'm like, look, as well as I know.
Sloppy chips.
And man, when that cheese that's melted fresh, it's fantastic.
It congeals.
When it congeals, it's like you pick up one chip, you pick up the entire.
It might as well be nacho pie at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So just be leery of what you offer on, like in the boardroom. It makes sense. Like, look at this menu offering, and this is a high profitability for us. But is it a good experience for your guests?
Talking to you, Cheesecake Factory. No, I'm just kidding. Just because I got a big menu. If you could delete one phrase from restaurant leadership meetings forever, what would it be?
Boots on the ground.
Ooh. All right. And the last one, what's the fastest way a restaurant accidentally kills a great catering program?
Horrible execution. I read it in a book. He was the CMO for Chick-fil-A for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And in that book, he says, marketing is the price that you pay for a lackluster execution. Like if you just execute and you just dominate in execution and you really excel at it, marketing, you don't need it.
The word of mouth, it goes back to those people that tell their friends, right?
Yeah.
Was it Walt Disney?
We all know it, right? You have certain restaurants that you all go to. You go to them because they execute high, not because they had a cool ad online that really pulled you in.
The Disney phrase comes up, do your job so well that people will bring their friends to watch you do it. And I always love that. Well, everybody, this has been Allen Beck. And Allen, one last plug here for you. I know you got to save the date coming up on March 18th in Miami. You're having your catering, one-day catering experience or roadshow? What's the official name of it?
Yeah, so it's called the Catering Roadshow.
The Catering Roadshow.
March 18th in Miami. March 4th in Phoenix. Those are the next ones. But then we're also going to be in Denver, Toronto, New York, Austin. If you're in those areas or planning to be in those areas, hit me up. We'd love to chat. Love to bring you into the roadshow and see it. We'll also love, we need speakers. Please reach out.
I saw so many people respond to that post of yours. I have to imagine you're just like, get in line, y'all.
Yeah. Miami's looking good, but we still need speakers for Denver, Austin, Toronto, New York. Like, reach out.
All right. Fantastic. Well, you heard it here first. This is Allen, not Glenn Beck, on the ChatGTM podcast. This is really fun. I've always liked your energy, Allen. Every time I see you, you make me feel good about the experiences. I mean, when I was a vendor, you never gave me the brush off. You were just like, hey, what are you doing? What are you working on? And I always love that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I encourage people to give Allen a call. I know you're present on LinkedIn quite a bit.
Yep.
Beyond your own shows, where are you going to be in Q1, Q2? Any of the big ones you're coming up to?
Yeah, I'll be at RLC. I'll be at Food on Demand, and we'll be at NRA. Like, those are the big ones we're going to be at. So
I think we'll see it all of those. So that's awesome. All right.
Well, see you guys for your Food on Demand exhibit last year with the puppies. If you if you weren't there or didn't hear about it, oh my gosh.
Wait till you see this year's. It's even better.
Like double the puppies?
Double the puppies.
Babies?
Maybe I'm leaking some information. Maybe
a little pen of babies to play.
Maybe Ashley and Hef will yell at me, but we couldn't not have a puppy room and a company called Nibble. So
genius. I absolutely loved, it was so great. Chad and I both literally sat in the pen with the puppies and played with them and just
light on the floor.
Yeah, and there's just something about the little extremely needle sharp teeth of a puppy and that vitamin smell of the puppy breath. It just takes you. Thank you for doing that. Do it again. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be big this year. So.
Yeah, can't wait to see you down in Miami for that event, and definitely want to talk to you more about that. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today with Allen Beck with Nibble. And if you have any questions, you know where to find them. And as always, we say, if you can't find them, ask us. We'll put you in contact with them. And in closing, the last part here, random acts of kindness, much like catering, sprinkle that stuff everywhere. You never know whose day you're going to make better. So for now, this is the ChatGTM podcast signing off. We'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys. Thank you.
You just rocked out. I love that.